Good day. It is Althea from the Bible in 1 year. Today we spend time in Genesis 35. Focus on being transformed by God. In Genesis 28, Jacob left Bethel while fleeing from his brother Esau. There God spoke to him in a dream, promising not only the land on which he lay, but also his presence, protection, and a safe return. God assured Jacob that he would be with him and watch over him until he fulfilled his promise. Jacob responded by building a pillar as a memorial to this vision. He consecrated it and named the place Bethel, meaning house of God. He made a vow that if God brought them back safely, he would serve him and give him a tenth as an offering of gratitude and dependence. Jacob then left and served his uncle Laban for many years. During that time, God remained faithful and blessed him. In Genesis 31 verse 3, God commanded Jacob to return to his father Isaac. On the journey in Genesis 32, Jacob encountered God again in a dream. He had to face his brother Esau and trust God to protect his family. That night, Jacob wrestled with God and refused to let go until he received the blessing. He prevailed through persistence in prayer. God honored his determination and changed his name to Israel, recognizing that he had struggled with God and with man and had overcome. Through his transformation, Jacob became ready to carry the promise first given to Abraham. In Genesis 35, God told Jacob to return to Bethel and build an altar there. This instruction carries the responsibility to prepare his household to enter the presence of God. Therefore, before going, Jacob instructed his household to remove their foreign idols and purify themselves. They prepared to enter God's presence with reverence in verse 2-4. As they traveled, God sent a supernatural fear upon the surrounding cities, and no one pursued them. When they arrived at Bethel, Jacob built the altar in verse 14 and declared the place sacred because God had revealed himself there and had been faithful to his promise. In verse 7, God again confirmed Jacob's new name Israel and renewed the covenant first given to Abram and Isaac. He would be fruitful and multiply, and kings would come from his line. King David, Jacob's grandson, was the fulfillment of this promise. As they continued their journey, tragedy struck. Rachel died while giving birth to her second son in verse 16. She named him Ben-Oni, meaning son of my sorrow. But Jacob renamed him Benjamin, son of the right hand. After burying Rachel, Jacob moved on. Later, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, committed a serious offense by sleeping with his father's concubine in verse 22. This action could be viewed as challenging Jacob's position as head of the household and establishing his authority over his 11 brothers. This act dishonored Jacob and resulted in Reuben losing the privilege and preeminence of the firstborn, as later confirmed in Genesis 49, verse 3-4. Verses 23-26 listed Jacob's 12 sons, forming the foundation of the nations that would later expand in Egypt. These sons stand as living proof that God had not forgotten his promise to Abraham and Isaac to make their descendants into a great nation. After 20 years, Jacob completed his journey and returned to his father Isaac in verse 27. Isaac died at a good old age, satisfied and fulfilled, just as Abraham had in Genesis 25 verse 8. His death marked the end of an era and brought the narrative that began in Genesis 25 verse 19 to a natural close. May this encourage you to persevere in faith. Hold on to God's promises and do not give up in prayer. God is faithful and never forsakes His word. Often it is He who takes time to be shaped and transformed according to His will and promise. Our Abba Father is patiently preparing us, molding us, and strengthening us until we are ready to walk faithfully in His calling. May you be blessed. Goodbye.